everybody, I'm Journo Jess. Today I'll be speaking with Hannah Shay, who is studying at a university in Virginia. Hannah also plays soccer at her university and has recently had to undergo quarantine measures because a few of the girls had tested positive for the coronavirus. Hannah is going to share with me her experience of going through quarantine and how she and her teammates are adjusting to practicing after having went through quarantine measures. Hi, Hannah. How are you doing today?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, doing good so far. You know, staying busy, trying to stay occupied. So I know upon beginning soccer practice, you and your teammates had to undergo quarantine because a few of the girls on your soccer team had tested positive for the coronavirus. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about what happened?
So, on campus, everybody is supposed to wear a mask. We're supposed to be social distance all the time. And the dining rooms is social distance. Like everywhere that you're supposed to, like, that you can possibly gather is social distance. And I mean, right now the virus is so just, you can catch it so easily. And even just being within a same room as someone, you could catch it easily. And I'm not really sure how any of the girls caught the virus, but I know that we practiced 2 days. It was Monday and Wednesday. And then Friday Thursday night we were told that by some of my teammates, I was told that they were in contact with someone who tested positive. And they were like, okay, we're just going to self-quarantine for 14 days, just to be on the safe side, because I knew, like, they were hanging out with them outside of practice and stuff like that. And so we all went into quarantine Thursday night. And then Friday morning, I ended up calling health services because I'm like, I don't go anywhere except for practice or the dining hall and back. So I'm like, how is Roanoke College wanting us to quarantine? So I ended up calling health services to kind of ask, like, how they were wanting us to quarantine. If we've come in contact with people, do they want us to self-quarantine, or are they going to put us in quarantine themselves? And how are we supposed to be getting food, and just generalized questions, stuff like that. And they told me that since I wasn't really in contact with anyone that they know of that tested positive, then they don't see a need for me to self-quarantine. And then so I was like, okay, well, I will go and grab food tonight in the dining hall since that's okay. And then I get an email in the middle of one of my classes at 3 o'clock or 2:30. I have to go to a 3 o'clock appointment to go get COVID tested. And this would be my second COVID test on campus. And
Did you had to do another one before?
Yeah, before we came onto campus, everyone was tested. So the day of move-in, all freshmen, pretty much everyone that was moving in on campus that Saturday was tested. Mm-hmm. And we only had one positive result, I believe, that came back from that. And she or he, I'm not sure who it was, left campus before they even finished moving in. And then I think 2 weeks ago, we had everyone else just move in on campus. Everyone else that opted to move in on campus. But
So how long did you actually have to quarantine when you were told that you had to quarantine?
I was told I had to quarantine for 14 days, and that meant I would be getting my meals from the dining services. Someone would be bringing me my meals and leaving them at my door. So I'd have no contact. My roommate at the time went home before all this happened, so I told her to just go ahead and stay home in case I did somehow end up getting it. And just to be on the safe side, I'd much rather you be comfortable at home than stuck in a little box of a room not being able to do anything. So she stayed home for 14 days, and I was in my room for 14 days by myself, getting meals delivered to me once a day. So
yeah. Did you have any issues when it came? I know you've mentioned to me before you had some issues with your meals, because I know you have an allergy to gluten. And can you tell me a little bit about what happened with that?
Mm-hmm. So I have a allergy to gluten. I'm just a gluten intolerance, and whenever I eat it, my stomach gets upset and I get a really bad headache. And dining services accidentally sent me a gluten-free spaghetti and a regular spaghetti. And I already ate the gluten-free spaghetti, and I was like, ooh, this regular spaghetti looks really, really good. Like, this doesn't even look like it's gluten-free. But I've been gluten-free for like 3 years, so I'm like, maybe I'm just used to it. And there was a piece of bread and everything. I'm like, that's so cool. Like, they bake their own bread. I ate the entire piece of bread, about half of the baked spaghetti, and then it like hit me, and I'm like, oh no, this is not gluten-free. And I was sick for like the next 3 days, and I emailed someone at dining services. I'm like, hey, just want to let you guys know that you guys accidentally gave me a dish with gluten in it. And they're like, we are so sorry, we will definitely get on that. I think one other time they did it, but they caught it, and they had someone like run the meal up, and whenever he came up, he was like out of breath, and he was like banging on my door, and he's like, wait, this is like the right one. I'm like, okay, I wasn't eating it, but thanks.
So it sounds like they kind of handled it pretty quickly, that situation.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. They were pretty good about it. I was in contact with 2 people from dining services pretty much the length of my quarantine about meals and stuff like that, because after that one incident, I was a little skeptical about things that looked like really, really good, and I'm like, that looks too good to be gluten-free.
In terms of like your mental health, like how were you able to keep it at bay while you were quarantining yourself? Were you able to sidetrack yourself, keep yourself busy in some way to kind of keep yourself calm during the quarantine?
I was definitely going stir crazy. Like, I really wanted to go exercise. It was under my impression that like we couldn't leave our dorm, so I didn't like get outside air other than my window being open. And our coach was like, yeah, you guys could have gone for like a walk and a run. And I'm like, well, dang, I would have done that every single day then. But I ended up watching Netflix and just getting ahead on my homework as much as possible. Netflix was just, I think I finished like 2 shows during the length of the time I was in quarantine. And I'm like, okay, I should probably be doing homework now.